This video looks in more detail into what the requirements are for your portfolio of evidence. The evaluation of your portfolio of evidence is based on the requirements as set out in your designation description. Your starting point then is to closely examine what the designation descriptions actually require. SAQA has requirements that there are 3 sections common across all designations. Firstly, there is a requirement for an underlying registered qualification at a particular level. Secondly, there is a requirement for working experience and working experiences in a particular field. And thirdly, there will be some broad designation competencies relevant to that designation set out in each designation description. Our designations meet these requirements. Each of them has a qualification specification, a workplace experience specification, and a set of designation competencies. So the work of a technician is typically in the skills development administration team in an organization. And they need to have a level 4 qualification. They need to have 3 years experience as an administrator. And then they need to be competent in administering plans and reports, capturing information, capturing data, coordinating skills development opportunities, and working with providers. The practitioners typically work in the middle of an organization. These people are typically learning and development managers, SDFs, facilitators, assessors, moderators. They're responsible for the implementation of learning. The requirement is for a level 5 qualification, 5 years experience in this field, and they are responsible for making sure that there is a proper plan for training, that it is facilitated effectively, that the organization's quality management system is supported. They also engage with employees to make sure that they are focused on their learning needs, and they work a lot with line managers to consult around the needs in a particular business unit or team and advise what sort of skills development approach will make the biggest difference for them. Skills development master typically are people working in the senior management in organizations, possibly in the top team, and their focus is around strategy around skills development. So the requirement is for a level 7 qualification. They must have at least 5 years experience working at this level for national or international organizations. And their competencies, the first one is around researching and making recommendations for strategies at a national level or international level. National meaning an organization typically with multiple branches around the country, or an organization with many different areas of business, because these add significant complexity to the work. Then they need to be designing or implementing on strategies at a national or international level. They need to be managing a QMS at a similar level. And lastly, they need to be providing strategic input on national strategy or international strategy. The minimum requirements, therefore, for gaining a designation are firstly that you must provide evidence against at least 75% of the designation competencies in your designation description. Now, if you look at the designation descriptions, you'll see that 2 of them have got 4 competencies, 1 has 5. What it means essentially is if there is one area where you do not have working experience, you can ignore one of those competencies if you need to. Second requirement is that you must provide fit-for-purpose examples of your workplace experience for the designation competencies. So what that is telling you is that the exercise is not a theoretical one. Instead, what you need to do is look back over your working experience and say, yes, I have done that thing, and I can tell you about it. I can give you examples of what I did that show you that I know what I'm doing in that field. For example, if you're thinking about the practitioner designation, you might say, well, I'm the learning and development manager, and we implemented a leadership program 2 years ago, and I was instrumental in finding the training provider, in meeting with the line managers to identify people who needed these skills, with setting up the learning experience, with liaison with the training provider to check on progress, to monitor the results, and to then report on the outcomes of this program to senior management. So that's my job. Now, that gives you a very good example that you can use to confirm that you are competent in implementation of learning. And the last one is the workplace experience must be over a period of at least the number of years in the designation description. And you'll have seen that there is a minimum of 3 years for the technician and 5 years for the other two designations. So your competence can't be just from examples drawn in the last 6 months or 8 months. It needs to be over that period of time.